Oh, my lovelies, I have been in so much pondering this week and noticing, I don't know about you, but there has been a clarity that has begun to occur, and I don't know if it is right in alignment with the air clearing up and the waters clearing up, but I think for some of us, our perspectives maybe are getting clearer. Our experiences are getting clearer maybe. And one of the things that I have noticed is we have this opportunity right now to let go and get out of the way whatever may be no longer serving us, whatever may be coming to light and clarity about what is ours to do with this incredible life. And I want to share something I came across that has just been balm for my soul this week. It is from Emma Curtis Hopkins, who is one of the founders of the New Thought movement. Ernest Holmes, the founder of Science of Mind, one of his teachers. And this is what she says. By the utterance of this word of the inner spirit, breathed deep into us all by the Spirit of God, we shall catch these thoughts beyond thoughts. We shall catch the whisper, the secret of healing the world. We shall speak those words beyond our words, which tell the secret of divine love. Here's the thing that I love about this so much. Is she says, the utterance of this word of the inner spirit, which has been breathed into all of us, which means this inner knowing, this inner wisdom, this inner truth, this inner spark of perfection is in every single one of us. And you can call it whatever you want. You can call it one mind, you can call it God, you can call it Allah on the inside, you can call it whatever you want, but we all have this central thing in us that knows, that it knows, that it knows. And what I know in my own life and many of the lives that I have come into contact with and counseled with and prayed with is we often lose touch with that inner knowing, with that inner wisdom, because it's blocked, overshadowed by the noise and the busyness and the misunderstandings and the misbeliefs that we walk around with in our lives. And what an incredible opportunity right now in our lives and the global experience for us to begin to allow that clarity, to allow that whisper to come more forward, to begin to do the releasing and the letting go of what is non-essential, the releasing and the letting go of what no longer serves in our own beings. One of the things that has occurred to me this week is in our steps of prayer that we practice in Science of Mind, the fifth step of this affirmative prayer is release. We do all the things. We get ourselves connected to the recognition that there is only one. It is all one. It is all connected. It is from the same place. It's headed to the same place. All one thing. We realize we are it. We make that realization real. We thank all that is for that truth, and then we let it go. But I've been thinking a lot about this letting go and releasing process in our prayer lives. You know, we talk sometimes about having to hold gently our visions, our prayers, because if we hold too tight, we squish them. But I think the other thing that we get to acknowledge is that the release is often a two-time release. The letting go is, there's two letting goes. First, it is the release of misunderstanding. It is the letting go of false ideas. It is the release of activity and habits and ways of being that do not serve us. That's release 1. And release 2 is, let me center and get into this spirit-sparked place, this wisdom, this knowing that it knows, that whisper of thought beyond thought and word beyond word. And I'm going to be so connected to that, I will let go into it, knowing that whatever unfolds from this place is perfect. That I don't have to actually micromanage life. That I don't have to try to micromanage the universe. I can let go into that inner spirit. I can let go to the guidance that comes from that place. That's the second let go. When we so acknowledge and so ground ourselves in that deep, deep wisdom that lives in us, we cannot go wrong. Whatever guidance that may be giving us is absolutely right. Sometimes we talk about taking right action, right? Taking the next right step. But that right action is always right when we have surrendered and let go into the truth that lives in us. And I think sometimes we get confused about this truth or this my best self, my highest self, that spiritual self. And we act like there are selves, and there's the good self and the bad self. No such thing. All one, there is only one, and that includes our whole self. And the times when we feel out of alignment, when we have gone against that still small voice, that whisper, is often when we feel like we are not our best self. But that's a feeling. It doesn't make it true. What is true is you are one gorgeous, perfect, unique, divine expression. And when you surrender into your unique thought beyond thought, your unique words beyond words, and you really steep yourself in that, you cannot take wrong action. It's not impossible. That will guide you every time. And so when we stumble, when we take an action that we look back on and think, oh, that maybe wasn't my best choice, that's part of our learning curve. That is part of us developing more and more relationship with our whole self. Because sometimes we don't even know what's in our way. Sometimes we don't even know how busy and noisy it is in our own selves. And I'll tell you what, this time can be wildly uncomfortable as we let fall away that noise, that busy, and meet ourselves here. But I am telling you, I am watching it happen. I am seeing it with you all, with what you're sharing online, with what you're telling me on the phone and through emails. I am watching all of us get clearer. I'm watching all of us literally clean our windows. Susan Clark told me this week she's got the cleanest house in the East Mountains because she's home cleaning. And I think we are all cleaning up. I think we are all recognizing, even in the discomfort, what is true, what is essential, what is mine to do. And we may not even be at a place yet where we're ready to take a step. And I think that's fantastic. Take the time. I literally see in my head when I'm in that place of conscious surrender. What I envision is I see myself just falling back and leaning into the energetic arms of Spirit. I see myself just sinking in to that place that always knows, that is always available. But often I have to get the crap out of the way and remember, oh, right, I just have to lean. I just have to allow myself to lean and sink in to that centered place. And when I do that, the clarity comes. And it doesn't always come instantly, doesn't even come overnight most of the time. So I invite all of us, let's use this time. Let's take this place we find ourselves in that feels so rocky, that feels so unsure, and know that in the midst of moving ground, in the midst of moving water, like a river that flows, like the ocean that is never still, there is peace. And it is there. And this is an invitation right now for all of us to find the ways for us to sink into that peace and say, peace out to anything in the way of that. Robert and I were even having a conversation this morning about the clarity he's getting about, whoa, I get to make some new choices because I love hanging out with my family. I love being home. I get to make choices that allow me to be more in the places and the spaces and with the people that I want to be. And I'm like, hell yes to that. Whatever is coming up for us right now, I can't tell you. I'm literally now getting pouty if I don't get enough time out in my garden, and sometimes that enough time feels like the whole day. And you know what? If I'm going to spend the whole day out in my garden, why shouldn't I? If that is where my now wide open heart is saying, go that way, your garden's over there, leave that over there, you don't need that out in the garden. I'm going to take that advice from that central place in me, that inner spirit in me that always knows, that literally has the power to speak words beyond words, which tell the secret of divine love. You know, the only reason it's a secret is because we're not listening. I wrote a song 1.5 million years ago when I was 10 called "The Secret Garden Ain't No Secret No More." When we allow ourselves to sink into that place, it's not a secret. It's not a secret that we have this access, this divinity, this absolute intelligence in our own selves that has the power and the capacity to heal everything. That has the power and the capacity to spread love further and further, to shine it from the very core of our being out into everything. And the only thing in the way is our misunderstandings, our misbeliefs, and it is why that is the first letting go. It is the first release. Before we can actually surrender into that place of peace, which I promise you is there, we must let go of the noise, of that negative self-talk. We must let go of the habits and the choices we've made in our lives about how we spend our time and who we spend our time with. We must let go of all of those things that are in the way of that voice, those thoughts beyond thoughts, those words beyond words, which are ours, which are our birthright, which are inherent in us. Emma Curtis said, Spirit breathed Spirit into all of us. All of us have absolute intelligence. All of us have the power and the presence of the One working in us. And it gets to come out more fully through us when we get the crap out of the way. And so what I know for sure is the gift of this moment, from my perspective, from my window of undoing, as Paul so eloquently spoke earlier. This gift is an opportunity to let fall away what does not need to return, to let stay in the history, which is literally just seconds ago or weeks ago, to let history stay in history and allow us to recognize with those divine eyes what must remain. And the first place we got to do that is in our own heads, in our own hearts, in our own lives. Because when we do that, when we get clear, when we discover our clarity, some of us are like, oh, damn, wow, I didn't even know I didn't enjoy this thing that I do every day. Or I didn't realize how important it is to me to do this thing every day. But now that I have the opportunity to stop doing that and start doing more of this, holy crap, I want to do this all the time. Or I don't ever want to do that again. And my loves, heed your own knowing. Even if it's scary. Even if it's scary to let some stuff go that you're not really sure how and what it is, and if I say no to that, what then? You know what? That inner spirit knows what then. That absolute intelligence that lives in you knows that it is going to unfold perfectly, because that whisper, that voice that says, it's all right, let it go. Let it go. It is all right. You are held in the arms of the One in all times. And that guidance is for you. It is a gift given to you by your own wisdom. Say yes to it. Surrender into that incredible gifting of your own heart, your own knowing, your own divine intelligence. Surrender into that. It cannot steer you wrong. And I know it is the way forward for entire humanity and the planet we share together and every living creature on it. Saying yes right now in this moment to the gift we are being given, to the access we are being given to our own divine intelligence, is the game changer we have been waiting for. When we each say yes to that guidance, and when we let go of the BS in our own heads and our lives, and surrender to that wisdom, and say yes to the guidance it's giving us, the world that we so deeply want to be living in for everyone comes into being. That is how it happens. And I know that fear is a powerful emotion. Let it go. Put it down. Do whatever it takes to release it. And one of the things that I know works really well in releasing is first, we must acknowledge it. Wow, this scares the piss out of me. This is so scary. And feel that all the way to the bottom of your toes and let it back out and shout it, express it, and then let that shit go. You acknowledge it, you look it squarely in the face, and I see you, fear. I'm scared out of my head to make this choice, to quit my job, to leave my spouse, to let my mortgage go. I'm scared. And yet I know that it's the right next step. So feel the fear all the way, get it out of your system, and be done with it. And take the step. Surrender into that knowing. Because I want to remind you, the utterance of this word of the inner spirit has been breathed deep into us all. The utterance of this word of the Spirit, which means the word beyond words, the thoughts beyond thoughts, is Spirit itself speaking in you. Spirit itself is like, I got you. It is all good. Take the step. Everything's going to be okay. I know you're scared, but this word beyond word, this amazing idea that came, what seems like maybe out of nowhere, that's Spirit speaking. And I believe it is our duty. It is our duty as living, breathing beings to speak the word. And you know, this word that has been given to each of us, this divine spark, this intelligence that is absolute and knows that it knows that it knows, it is our duty to speak it. It is our duty to live it and express it. That's what we are doing here on this beautiful physical plane in these gorgeous bodies. We are here to express all that is in us to express. And in order for the truth to become real, we've got to get whatever is in the way out of the way, stuff in here and the stuff out here, so that we can speak the truth that is uniquely and authentically in each of us. I believe that is the gift and the invitation of this time. I deeply, deeply trust and rely on you to speak it, be it. Take that step that your Spirit in you is saying, Mama, go that way. I got you. Because I know when we all make that choice, wow, this world we get to live in together. Wow. So I'm going to ask you to just take a moment right now and make a commitment. Make a commitment to continue to take the opportunity of this pause in our lives, of this quiet in our lives, of this less noisy in our lives, and lock in on that whisper. Lock in on those thoughts beyond thoughts, those words beyond words that are living in your spirit. Lock in and let them out. Let them guide you. Speak them. Be them. Move them out into the world. I rely on it. We all rely on it. Thank you. Thank you for releasing and letting go so that we can all move that divine love out into the world in ways we've not even seen yet. Thank you.